Okay, so today we're using make.com and Apify to scrape Google images. This is a highly useful use case if you need images from Google search. It can be quite difficult to automatically get images from Google search, probably for a number of reasons, mainly because Google probably make it difficult for a reason. But what we do have with make.com is the ability to run an Apify actor. Apify is like it's a general purpose kind of piece of software that you can get a subscription to. Now, I'm using the free usage, which for Google Image Scraper, if you look at it, if you want to scrape 1,000 images using this actor here, Google Images Scraper, it's only $3, so it's incredibly cheap and it's incredibly easy to run in the free usage tier. So let's get into it. Let's get back to make.com. And basically, how this works is we run the act we were just looking at, which is Google Images Scraper. So basically, you create a connection. I'm not going to go through creating connections, but it's very easy if you log into Apify and use OAuth or an API key. You choose your actor. I mean, you'll see here I have a number of different actors I've used over the journey with Apify. It's Google Images Scraper, Google Images Scraper. For the number of images I'm doing, it doesn't really matter whether we run it synchronously or not, which is kind of like running it in series as opposed to running it in parallel. Can make a difference actually with the amount of memory it uses. So I'd recommend, you can test out which way it works best for you, but probably running it synchronously would work easier, although it would take a long time. We have an input JSON. Now, where do I get the input JSON from? We go to Google Images Scraper, we go to JSON, and we'll see how they have an example here of the JSON if it'll load for us. But basically, this is where you get it in this input, use JSON, and you kind of adjust it to your own needs. Okay, it's not going to load for us. As soon as I turn Loom on, it tends to go really slow, so we'll just ignore that. But basically what it'll give you is this JSON where we only have two parameters here, the first being the max results per query. So that's 3 images we're going to get back. You can go up to 1,000, I think it is. It's quite actually, I don't know if there's actually a limit to the number of queries you can do, but basically, and in queries, we can create a string of our search queries. I've used search here as an input to this particular make.com scenario. You can choose your build if you want, but just leave it as latest is fine. Timeout, same, and the amount of memory. You are limited by Apify, but basically that's a way you can specify the amount of memory. So we'll go save on that. Just getting back to where I'm getting search from. Scenarios have inputs and outputs. I've created an input structure. Search, just a text input field. Search, you can do a description. That's useful when you come to use this with AI agents, but I'll just describe the search script to grab an image. That's easy enough. Tools. Now here I've got a sleep. The reason for this is that Apify takes some time to run. This actor can take around 60 seconds. I played it on the safe side and made it 120 seconds as the wait. Now, once it's run, it'll return into Apify. It returns it into its data. Its data set, and we'll just find out where that data set's got to. Runs. Oh, I didn't believe it. There we go, runs. Okay, so runs here. In fact, this is going to take forever to load, so I won't actually run it. But basically, it comes here with all the data set. Every time you run it, it'll return a data set, and it'll tell you the number of requests that have succeeded and failed and all that sort of stuff. And if we look in the data set, if it'll load for us, it'll show us what we've actually returned as the image scraper. Just waiting for that for a moment. It's worth looking at, so we'll actually wait for it. It takes around 1 minute, so I might just pause this for you. Okay, so my previous search was for tiger in the jungle. So you can see here, it shows the thumbnail of the image we returned and all that sort of stuff, some information about it. We'll go back to actual make.com. Okay, and this step here, let's have a look at it. We're getting the dataset items. Wait for it to load up, but basically it takes the default dataset ID, which comes from the first run an actor. You'll find here there's one called default dataset ID. Data transformation clean. I just leave it as clean in most cases. The format is JSON, limit 100. You can make the limit whatever you want. In this case, it's never going to return more than 3 because in the first actor, we actually specified only 3. Then what we do is we get a file because this data set returns the URL of, we'll have a look at the output first. This is the previous one I've run. It returns an image. Here's the URL of the image. You get the file by copying in that particular URL, being this one here, image URL. And then we upload it to Google Drive just for the sake of, you could do whatever you want with it, but Google Drive is where I'm saving them at the moment. So let's run a little test. I'm gonna run it and then I'll pause the video. Well, in fact, we'll make it Bear in the Woods. So okay. So now it takes a little while to run. It's particularly the sleep, which goes for 2 minutes. I'm not going to make a rate for that, so I'll just pause this for the moment. Okay, so that's now run. You can see here we've got 2 images. We should get a third. Or maybe, yep, there's a third there. Okay, so basically the actor's run. We've had a sleep of the make.com scenario. The data set's returned, and it's returned 3 files, which with the first 3 images coming from Google image search. So let's have a look and see what we actually got back in the Google Drive. Let's have a look. Where are we? Let's refresh this. In fact, we'll just leave that for the moment. I'll just check where they're. Sorry, I just needed to refresh. I'll go back to Google Drive. You can see here we've got 3 Bear in the Woods images. I might pause this because typically Google Drive just takes a little while to refresh correctly. Okay, so here we go. The Google Drive has caught up. So let's have a look at the images it's actually returned. Okay, so there's a nice one of a few black bears in the North American wilderness, no doubt. We've got a little, looks like a grizzly cub climbing there. And the next one, just wait for it to load. See what we got. Is it going to load? It is. I might just pause this until load. Okay, so there's another grizzly bear running through the woods. Okay, so I think you probably get the idea of what's going on here. This is the fairly simple scenario, highly useful for returning images if you need to use them in a report, or if you want to maybe use the images as a basis of some sort of AI image montage of some sort. Or one thing to be concerned about is actually the copyright of the images. It is worth considering that before you just post them widely on the internet. Definitely, it's worth protecting the copyright of the images themselves. But I mean, there's a ton of different things you can use them for. Anyway, thank you very much for your time.